Ladies and gentlemen, I'm wearing this particular shirt and it says hashtag babies lives matter. Hashtag BLM. It's the new BLM. It's what I like to represent, especially for our channel, The Advocates for Children. We also have another hashtag that we use a lot on this channel, and that hashtag is hashtag date thugs date death. And what that means is it does not mean that every person who has lived a risky lifestyle when it comes to males is bad for kids or bad for a relationship. But what it does mean is that you need to look at your situation and see if it's conducive for your children. In my humble opinion, if you're not living a reputable lifestyle, if you are not a law-abiding citizen, then you probably should not be around kids. That's my personal opinion, and I feel like we gotta start putting our children first, okay? That's the reason why I do what I do. Now, with this story coming out of Toledo, Ohio, 2 young boys are dead, and one of the other one, and the third one is actually in intensive care right now because we're hoping that that child survives, but it's in critical condition right now. And y'all see these babies on my screen. I did the best that I could to try to give you guys as many pictures as possible, so that way as we talk about this story, you can see the faces of these beautiful, innocent kids who could not speak for themselves and could not defend themselves against mom's boyfriend. I just personally don't think that's fair, right? Why should children have to fight our battles? Does everybody understand where I'm coming from? Why should our children have to fight our battles? We make a messed up choice, get with somebody who is mad at us, and that person takes it out on our children. Like I say, not all of these situations are avoidable, but some of these things are just pretty damn common sense, which I'm getting ready to present that with this story, okay? And y'all forgive me on my coughing. I'm going to try to fix it. The shooting occurred on the 800 block of Burnport Drive on Friday evening. Toledo police officers arrived and found 3 boys inside the apartment, all of them suffering at least 1 gunshot wound. The children were treated at the scene before being taken to the hospital. The children, as you guys can see, let me see if I can get a bigger picture of them up here so you guys can see these babies. I'm going to pause that picture right there. I want y'all to look at these babies, and they are babies. Look at these babies' faces, and y'all tell me, when you look into their eyes, you can see their soul. What could these children have done to make anybody this level of upset at them that you decided to ruin them and take their life? If you ask me, there is nothing on this earth that neither one of these boys could have done to deserve what their mom's boyfriend did to them. Not a single thing. No excuse for this. We have 5-year-old Amir Phillips. Did I skip? No, I didn't. Amir Phillips, who was 5 years old, and Gabriel Phillips, who was 1 year old, died at the hospital. 4-year-old Ashton Phillips underwent surgery on Saturday morning at C.S. Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, but like I say, he's currently in critical condition. On Sunday evening, Ashton's father, and I think I have his interview, so I'll let you guys hear his voice if y'all want to hear that. Ashton's father told the news that Ashton is stable. They took him off sedation this morning to see if his body would respond. He started moving his hands and legs, and please put a prayer hands up in the chat for that. Most human beings, adults, would not survive multiple gunshot wounds, and it sounds like this baby will. So let's put a prayer hands up in the chat for that. It's a smidgen of positive information. So that is so good, okay? They put him back under to continue to heal. I'm going to go back to the hospital tomorrow to talk to the neurosurgeons. On Monday morning, Toledo police said Ashton's condition had been upgraded to a stable condition, although he is still fighting for his life. So please understand, with something like this, anything could go wrong, but we're going to pray that this baby is going to survive. The Lucas County Coroner's Office released the autopsy reports for the death of Gabriel and Amir on Saturday morning. Their causes of death were found to be multiple gunshot wounds, according to the autopsy. The coroner's office also ruled their deaths as homicides, which we already knew that, okay? The Toledo Police Lieutenant Daniel Gherkin said that officers believe the situation was a domestic situation between the boyfriend and the mom, okay? The suspect, whose name is Kevin Moore, who's 27 years old. Let me see if I can get this idiot's face on my screen. Y'all look at this. And I want y'all to understand that this is who mom was dealing with. 27-year-old Kevin Moore, and apparently this man's love was worth more than the children's lives. There's a reason that I'm saying that, so don't get mad, all right? Hold your judgment until I give you all of the information, because I'm sure that's the biological father, and I'm sure he will agree with what I'm about to say. This dude is 27 years old, and he was arrested on the scene. He is the boyfriend of the children's mother, whose name is Crystal Marie Andrews, but she was uninjured. I want y'all to hear that again. That dude was so mad at the mom, but the mom was not injured. But all of her children were. Does anybody want to take a guess as to what I mean when I say that? Because I'm not saying that the mom should be dead, but what I'm saying is it's a bit odd that the mom survived with no injuries, no defensive wounds, no nothing, but all 3 children are dead. Excuse me, no, they're not. 2 of the 3 are dead. All 3 of them were shot. So let me make a retraction. They're not all dead. 2 of them have passed away. 1 of them is in critical condition. All 3 of them were shot. So I apologize for saying that wrong. It slipped. Okay? According to a post on social media that Andrews made, she was not home at the time of the assaults. The mom was not home at the time of the assaults, as she was helping her mother with a moving truck. She says she came home and discovered her children were shot. Does anybody see a problem with that so far? Well, I do. Can I raise my hand and say, yes, DJ Just Jay, what do you see as the problem here, sir? This man is not the father of any of these 3 children. And matter of fact, let me tell y'all how stupid some men are, because it ain't all, but let me tell y'all how stupid some men are, especially thugs. Most men don't like dealing with women that have kids because those kids remind that man of the man that the woman just got through sleeping with, especially when the children are very small. It's a very big, large reminder of the man that mom just got done dealing with, and the fact that the mom still has to deal with that man if that man is going to be a father in those children's lives. For a man who is weak emotionally and mentally on the inside, might have a lot of trouble dealing with that. Not somebody like me, but I'm a different type of person all the way around. But I'm hoping that y'all understand where I'm coming from. Mom was not home. Mom did not give the children to the biological father to babysit his own kids or maybe his side of the family. Mom left these children who were already in danger with the boyfriend. And I want y'all to look at this dude's picture. Let me see if I can get his face back up here. When y'all look at this face, What about that face says to y'all, yeah, that seems like a good guy. He seems like he'd be a great babysitter for my 3 children who I didn't have by him. Huh? Is there anything about that man seems like he'd be a great babysitter? Because if not, just because you like sleeping with the dude, why the hell would you leave your kids with him? Am I being an ass right now? Am I just being too mean? Please, that's why we have the live chat. If I'm being too mean, please let me know. Also, don't forget, while you're watching this, please click the thumbs up, share this stream, let more people know that we're live, because I do want people to have their opinions about this. Okay? Let me know if I'm being too mean. And matter of fact, y'all look at that sign in this picture right here. It says Black Lives Matter here. Do they really though? Do Black lives really matter to black people? I'm not so sure, considering almost every story that we've talked about on our channel have been black lives lost at the hands of black people. But I digress. That's a topic for another day. Let's move on. The mom left her kids with the boyfriend shot the kids. Matter of fact, you also would have to think that that's pretty damn stupid of the mom to have an argument with her boyfriend while the boyfriend has access to your kids and you're not even anywhere around your kids. Let's move on. Moore was booked into the Lucas County Jail on 2 counts of aggravated murder and 1 count of felonious assault. The news will reach out to Andrews to hear from her when she is ready. And I'm sure we won't hear from the mom, but we'll see. A neighbor who lives nearby said that there have been shootings in the apartment complex before, but she has never seen a police presence like the one there Friday night. Now, detectives have opened, and matter of fact, that's a problem too, the fact that we live in these dangerous neighborhoods, these thug zoos. We might have to start calling that the projects. These hood-ass apartments, projects, or wherever the hell that have high crime rates, high violence rates. Why would you continue to keep creating kids and bringing kids into these violent situations? Detectives have opened an investigation. If you have any information about this incident, call Crime Stoppers 419-255-1111. The news will continue to bring you the latest developments on air, online, and on their news app. Here is part 2. Are y'all ready to hear about his criminal history and why I would call him a thug? Why would I call mom's boyfriend a thug? It's not because he's black, because thug does not have a color attached to it. I repeat, for the people listening in the back, thug does not have a color attached to it. A thug is a state of mind and a behavior. A thug is a state of mind and a behavior. So let me tell you about the type of man that mom had her kids around. Let's talk about this. A search of court documents reveal that the man who was accused of shooting 3 small children on Friday has a long criminal history in the state of Florida. That guy. Hashtag jailbird. Yes. Let's talk about mom's candidate to have around the kids. That man, Kevin Moore, is suspected of shooting 3 of the children. 2 of them have passed, unfortunately. 1 of them is currently in critical condition, but stable. In 2 separate incidents, Moore pleaded guilty to charges of domestic violence and resisting police officers. In 2 separate incidents. In November of 2014, mom's boyfriend was arrested by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on battery domestic violence, false imprisonment, opposing an officer with violence, and battery on a law enforcement officer. If that wasn't bad enough, let's keep going. After initially pleading not guilty in 2015 of December, Moore pleaded guilty to those 4 charges. He is credited with time served in jail. Less than 1 year later, August of 2016, mom's boyfriend was arrested once again on domestic battery charges and violently resisting an officer, this time by the Temple Terrace Police Department. Charges include domestic battery by strangulation, tampering with a witness, and resisting an officer with violence. Is the point that I'm making clear yet? Oh, y'all say it's not? It's not clear yet that this dude ain't shit? Okay, let's keep going. A police report on that incident says that Moore, mom's boyfriend, slapped and choked a female victim. Parts of the victim's written statement are redacted because juveniles were mentioned. But the statement says in part, it says redacted, we're arguing about a coloring book and he got angry and that didn't reprimand and that I didn't reprimand the redacted name, so he slapped me. The rest of the statement goes on to say that Moore prevented her from calling 911 and he put his arm up against her neck. She was able to get away from the situation with her kids. Again, another woman with kids. And these thug dudes, they get sex from women so easily. They get around women's kids so easily. It's funny how, and shout out to Tommy, it's funny how these boyfriends, these random thug lying dudes get to be around these kids as much as they want, and these women are as much as they want, but the biological fathers, y'all expect for them to go fight for these kids and go to court for these kids and beg the biological moms to see these kids. That's a bit asinine. A father should not have to beg to see his kids, all the while mom is laying up under a thug who has a long criminal rap sheet. He pleaded guilty on those charges and he was given credit for time served. He was ordered to have no contact with his victim. He pleaded guilty on the above listed charges and once again was given credit for time served in order to have no contact with his victim. Temple Terrace, Florida is near Tampa in Hillsborough County. Moore did not have a criminal record in Toledo prior to the alleged murders, but he did have a criminal history, which mom would have known if she would have done a simple background check. Why would you not? Before you send your kids to school, you do a background check on the school. You check up to make sure that the schools are good for your kids. You do a background check before you take your kids to a babysitter. Why would you not do a background check if you're going to have somebody living in your house and be around your kids and have them babysitting your kids? That's just stupidity on the parents' part. But let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's listen at the news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. As a matter of fact, if you guys are watching right now, if you understand where I'm coming from, you could take the survey in the chat. Also, if you would, click that thumbs up, share the stream, bring more people in. Click that thumbs up. Let's get it.
We start off with a breaking news alert, the latest from the deadly shooting in South Toledo earlier today. It happened at the Burnport Apartments in South Toledo right around 5 o'clock. Police now tell us 27-year-old Kevin Moore shot his girlfriend's 3 children. A 5-year-old and 1-year-old were killed. The other, a 4-year-old, is in critical condition tonight. Moore is in the Lucas County Jail on 2 counts of murder and 1 charge of assault. We have team coverage of this tragedy. Roxana Elias met with a community leader about what she wants done about the violence at that apartment complex. But we start tonight with Michael Tater, who talked to shaken neighbors grieving these small children. Michael.
That's right, Melissa. I don't think anyone can really put into words what happened here today. Even at this hour, we see neighbors peeking through windows, looking out of their doors towards the crime scene, trying to make sense of exactly what happened. And many I spoke to, frankly, telling me they're horrified by the incidents here today. Now, one neighbor that I spoke to who lives just a few doors down from the crime scene says she heard several gunshots. She looked out the window and saw a man outside shooting into the air right before police arrived. And then when they did, he actually pointed his guns at those officers. Another neighbor that I spoke to said she's lived here for over 10 years and she's never seen the police get to a scene and to this complex as soon as they did today. But she says neighborhoods like these need more help.
Try to kind of get attention to places like, families who live here at low income. I feel like often we're given the brunt of, not as enough resources to, give people what they need so they don't have to, resort to violence.
Did y'all hear what they just said? Let me rewind that. People need more resources, but like I just said, the fact that these neighborhoods are that dangerous and you continue to keep producing kids, does it not, are we just that unintelligent that we can't see death and murder around us and we keep bringing kids into that situation? It's a little bit strange. I don't think any type of resources will fix that.
Attention to places like, families who live here at low income. I feel like often we're given the brunt of, not as enough resources to, give people what they need so they don't have to, resort to violence.
And now many neighbors that I spoke to understandably did not want to go on camera, but many of them telling me they're parents and they're very scared by all of this. Melissa?
Michael Tater reporting live in South Toledo. Thanks so much. And Michael, one more thing. You did talk with some of the family members tonight. What are they telling you about this?
That's right, Melissa. I actually happened to run into the sister-in-law and the mother's brother here at the complex. Understandably, they did not want to go on camera as one of her children is still fighting for his life. But they did tell me that they have just as many questions as we do about exactly what happened here tonight.
Michael, thank you so much. Well, the complex is no stranger to violence. 31-year-old Alex Day died in November of last year when he was shot there in the back of the head. 32-year-old Davio Galladay died after being shot 6 times in September. Back in October of 2015, Richard Villavovos was stabbed after an argument turned violent.
Okay, I think y'all get the point. Let's move on to the next video. Here is the biological father, and if you guys can hear this, let me know. If I need to turn it up or adjust his audio, let me know. But this is the biological father of those kids, who, if mom was going to leave those kids with anybody, she should have left the kids with the dad. And I'm sure that broke his heart, man. But let's listen to what dad had to say.
You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, just so we have the name correct, just say your first and your last name and spell it out for me.
Jaquil Phillips, Jaquillips.
Okay, and your relationship to the kids?
The father.
Okay. First, I just want to say, from everyone at Channel 11, we have our deepest condolences to your family. I know this is hard to put into words, but just what are you feeling right now?
Man. This loss, broken. I just miss my boys.
Tell me about yesterday, how the day started and how you found out about the news, what was going through your mind.
I was at my grandma's house because she just passed from COVID on January 15th. And my girlfriend called me and told me that my son had been shot to get to his mom's house. So when I got out there, officers told me that all 3 of my boys were shot, and told me they're all at the hospital, and that's pretty much all they told me there. I went to the hospital, and they had police, like 4 or 5 police officers surrounded me, and they really didn't tell me anything for 45 minutes to an hour. And then finally the detective came out and said I can go back. So he took me to a room and talked to me.
What's going on, guys, in the chat? If y'all can hear me, let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Also, don't forget, please click that thumbs up. If y'all can hear him okay, let me know. But I think that's about as high as I can turn the audio without distorting it. Maybe about right there.
And then he told me that Gabriel and Amir didn't make it, and that Ashton is being worked on. So
take your time.
he said that I could go back there and see him. So I went back there and I kissed their hands and I kissed their foreheads. And then they escorted me out the building and told me to go home. And detective gave me his number and told me that if I need anything or if I needed anybody to talk to call him. But only officers that really was any of the helpers, the detectives, they was like the only people that are actually talking to me and giving me answers. Everybody else is just there, just ignoring my questions and everything. So
What's the latest on Ashton right now?
he is in a medically induced coma right now, and they had to remove the left part of his skull to reduce the swelling on his brain. And
So they're talking about the son that survived. That's what he's talking about right now. So he had to have part of his skull removed. Well, back that up because I kind of interrupted him.
his brain, and he has internal bleeding right now, but he's stable for right now.
Any prognosis, or it's too early to tell?
It's too early to tell right now.
Okay.
They said the bullet came out of his jaw and shattered his jaw and dislocated it. So, man, they can't put it back together until the swelling from the bullet going in to go away.
Okay. Let's go on a more positive note. Talk to me about your 3 sons. Tell me about them.
Amir, he just loves everything. Amir, he's just sports, trophies. He loves fixing stuff, everything, anything to do. He was always with his grandma and his uncle. His uncle did roofing and construction and cars, so he had all the tools over there to fix and play with, and helmets and everything. And Ashton, he just loved music and balls and sports, and loved being a boy. And Gabriel, he's just one. Well, just learning how to walk. I was just holding him as a baby. It's just
No, I'm only going to ask you about this because you posted it on Facebook. You had said that you had wanted the kids in your custody.
Yes.
Without going into too many details, tell me what the kids meant to you, and in the lightest details, what the situation was with the mother. I don't want to play a blame game or anything like that, but what are your feelings that the the suspect is in custody, the person that they believe is responsible for this, does that give you any type of closure that
No.
that person is
It doesn't give me
right now?
no closure that he's behind bars, because he can get life, but he's still living. He's still doing everything he can do. He'd be behind bars. He's not out here, but my kids will never be able to grow up. Never see my kids again. I've never hold my kids. Never, nothing. So he's just, and all they're gonna do is be like, hey, get life. Which means nothing to people like him. Like, okay, well, I still get 3 square meals a day. So.
Well, y'all know he is hot at mom's boyfriend. Damn. But like I was just saying in the chat, I could admire the fact that he's calm, he's collected, he's composed. I don't know if it could have been me, man. I don't know.
How, and this is a difficult question, you don't have to answer if you don't want. Other families have gone through similar things. Within the past year, we had 62 homicides in Toledo. A lot of those kids, a lot of those teenagers. How do we stop this from happening? Much of this is
For the teenagers, we just gotta keep the guns away from the teenagers somehow. Limit their access to the parents' guns, the grandparents' guns. Go to their friend's house. Everybody gotta like put their guns up. If you can't buy a safe for a gun, don't buy a gun. Like putting it on top of the refrigerator out of the kids' reach is not doing it anymore. These kids are smart. They can climb on stuff. They can get up there. And as for like the little kids, like these kids, they don't ask to be brought into this world. We bring them into this world, and as a mother and father, we needed to protect them and show them the way that, like we're supposed to be doing. We just can't be just putting them to the wayside and just doing whatever because we don't feel like being parents anymore.
What he said right there was very important. And like I say, and I think that's really what responsible parents do, is we just point the finger at ourselves and say it's our responsibility as mom and dad to make sure and protect and raise our kids to the very best of our abilities. So I admire him and I respect him for saying that.
This is crazy to me. I don't understand it because my kids are my world. Like I had 8 kids. I have 5 that's living, and my kids are my world. Well, 6. And my kids are my world. Like, I give up anything for my kids. And I've told Crystal before, if she couldn't take care of them or raise them or protect them, to just give them to me. I'll take my kids.
the last thing I'll ask you is, how do you want your children to be remembered by this community that I'm sure over the next couple of days, and you probably already have seen messages online of love and support and prayers. How do you want your 3 kids to be remembered?
Just vibrant, loving little boys. Always had smiles on their faces. Always ready to play with anybody's kids. They didn't care who it was. It was just loving little boys. So that's how I want them to remember Amir and Gabriel, because Ashton's still fighting. So
Ash is still fighting, man. And again, put a prayer hands up in the chat, because I hope that baby survives. We got a couple more videos. I'm going to let these play real quick. These are just the news videos. So let me try to let these play out.
And a shooting in Toledo, Ohio left 2 children dead overnight. Police say.
All right, as we're told you, we have breaking news right now. Multiple juveniles shot in South Toledo. The story just developing over the last hour and a half at Burnport Apartments, not far from Airport in Bern. Michael Tater is live with what we know right now. Michael, talk to us.
We want to get you back out to that breaking news we first brought you at the top of this show. Multiple people have been shot at a South Toledo apartment complex.
Yeah, we're going to check in with our own Michael Tater, who is on the scene right now. Michael, what do we know?
Well, Jeff, right now there's a strong police presence. You can actually see Airport is actually shut off right now. The police, a police car up there is leading people in and out that live in the complex. But I'm going to turn the camera back over here. You can see Officers are in the back of the complex investigating on scene. What we know right now is multiple juvenile victims were confirmed here at 841 Burnport and Airport. We do not have any update on the conditions of those victims or how any of this started. Toledo police confirmed that they have crews on the scene here investigating, trying to figure out exactly what happened. And we will be doing the same to try to figure out exactly what led to this shooting. Reporting live in South Toledo, Michael Tater, WTOL 11.
And as hard as this is going to be, and you know what? Here's the funny part about this, and it's not funny, but let me give you guys my closing thoughts about this particular story, and then I'm gonna read you guys messages right after this, okay? But let me say this, because I got to get this off my chest. I've had people who I've done stories about that are willing to fight harder to take my channel down, to take my videos down, to silence my voice, to send family members out to write me on social media, email me death threats and all kind of stuff. And I think to myself, because I'm a strong dude, I can deal with that shit, right? And I think to myself, I'm like, damn, they fight me harder. The advocates for children, which is us, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. They're willing to fight the AFC harder than they fight for their own children. Now, please, somebody let me know when I've said something that is not factually accurate. They are willing to fight us harder, our message harder, our hashtags harder, our beliefs harder than fighting for the survival of their own children. That is absolutely where the blame has to be put, at the feet of the people who had access and those who are responsible, which includes mom and her boyfriend. I'm telling you guys, it was not that hard to look this man's criminal record up and find out that he had a rap sheet that's longer than the I-35 bridge. I mean, that's just insane. Our children should not have to fight our battles. Children should not have to fight because of our bad choices. Parents should fight for their children by not putting them in bad situations. Whether that be low-income housing. If you don't have the money, then don't bring kids into this world. Look, I've done it my damn self. So I'm pointing the finger not only at people who do it, but at myself, because I am also responsible that I could have put my daughter in a much more advantageous position. As a father, I could have done better. But that's where the teaching starts. It starts at home. We got to do better. They got to do better. Mom, if you ask me, failed her children. This is why we heard Dad come out and speak, and Mom didn't say a damn thing. And yes, I believe that Mom should feel a large level of responsibility for this, because this ain't the first time this man was violent. This man was violent to her. This man was violent to the kids. She's probably seen it and ignored it, let it go, because she wanted to lay up under her man. She wanted to be there for her man. She wanted to get her own personal pleasures from her man. Mom's personal pleasures were more important than the future of those kids. Damn, I know that hurt. But it's the freaking truth. And when in America we gonna start dealing with the truth, that's the only way that we're gonna make some progress. If y'all want real change, it has to start at home, at the foundation. Biological mother, biological father gotta come together and start really building a solid foundation for these kids. Because laying up on the niggas like this is not getting you anywhere except for in a grave. That's it. There was nothing special about that dude that he was able to go from woman after woman after woman after. You gotta have more self-esteem about yourself. Sisters, I love y'all. Women, ladies, mothers, I love y'all so much to be able to tell y'all the damn truth. There is no penis that is worth the life of your children. Just because you enjoy that man, I'm sorry, but your priority should be your children, not your own personal pleasures. There was absolutely nothing about that individual that he should have been around anybody's damn kids. He should never have a woman. And matter of fact, like I say, if they decide to give him the death penalty, we won't even have to worry about it even after that. So hopefully he won't get another shot in society. Hope they launch him on an experimental spaceship, launch his ass into outer space for what he did to them kids. He don't deserve atmosphere, he don't deserve life, and he don't deserve respect. That's me putting it real nice, because I want to say some really, really harsh things. Let me put some respect on these babies' names. To the two that have passed away, RIP. To the one who was fighting for his life and surviving, we put our prayer hands up in the chat. Young Ashton, please pull through. Young Prince, please pull through. To the dad, I hope you understand my words, and we definitely grieve with you, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening to the story. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the AFC podcast. We're going to continue to keep shining a light where we believe that it needs to be shined at. You heard me? I'm DJ Judge J. We're the AFC. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing, okay?